This call
Uh,
will be recorded.
why are you also recording?
I don't know.
Uh, but I'm in a park right now, so
Oh, you drove to one?
yeah. I mean, it's the closest park. Well, closest park that's like an actual place to sit down because I'm not going to freaking Dunedin Park or whatever.
Yeah. Oh,
So
plus you
I'm
don't want to do that.
so I'm in like some park in Suffolk somewhere.
Really? Where? What part of
It's
Suffolk?
a small park. It's kind of close to where we did the video. Like, this is a very
Uh,
small park. It's like in the middle of a neighborhood.
oh.
I mean, I didn't even realize it was going to be in the middle of the neighborhood. I didn't realize it was going to be this small either. But it's okay. So how should we begin? How many months has
Well,
it been since the last freaking podcast?
I don't know. I kept asking him. He had no updates.
Well, I was in a mental mindset, as you could say, that thinking that, oh, if I work hard, don't do any distractions, surely something will happen. And well, you see how that ended up.
How did it end up for the viewers, right? For the
So
listeners, how did it end up?
I guess it's been how many months? Like not 6 months, because I think it was like March. Is fresh after Trump was elected, fairly fresh. So maybe like February, March was when we made the last podcast, and
Yeah.
now it's August, and nothing has changed. Well, so basically, at least on my end, I tried making the app, and making an app takes longer than I thought. That's all I can say. I'm still working
Are you
on
still
it.
working on it?
I am still working on it, but I don't know when I'll finish it. It could be next year if I like stick on my pace that I'm on right now, and next year until it's like not looking good, just like, oh, it's workable. And that's when I'm doing AI. I completely embraced it. I'm using AI to code it. I've given up on doing it the old-fashioned way. It's just not worth it. It just isn't. Like, they try to make it seem like, like, oh, you're not a real coder if you use AI. Oh, you're not a real artist if you use AI. Oh, if you're not a real blank if you use AI. But it's faster. Like, I don't have the time. You don't make money from any of this stuff, so I don't care. I'm going to take shortcuts.
Yeah.
I tried making, like, now that I embraced AI, I'm making my own cryptocurrency. I probably need to talk about that at some point, but we'll talk about that after. And I'm making a podcast app, which you saw kind of a preview of. Not app, but a website. Well, kind of, an application. So then I can make video podcasts without having to make video podcasts, because we have, this podcast has so many audio podcasts. And I think some of these freaking episodes are good. But of course, no one wants to listen to audio. Everyone just watches it on TikTok. So I'm like, I need a way to.
Oh, you mean the thing you said?
Yeah. I'm trying to make it where, it will make a video of the whole podcast.
Gotcha. Oh, that's smart. That's neat.
Yeah. But that's also going to take a little while, of course. But yeah, so, I mean, those are just projects. Like, if this was 2015, I would be looked at like I'm a freaking genius. They'd be like, you're working on 3 separate apps at once. I would be at Seattle right now working in Microsoft or freaking Amazon or Google or something. Being in California working for Apple. If this was 2015, but sadly it's 2025. So no one freaking cares. So I was like, okay, the job market is so trash. So freaking bad. I can't find any job. Like, I've been applying and applying and applying. What makes it annoying is that no one understands how bad the market is. Because, like, say my mom's retired. She's retired as a government worker. So, she's chilling. She chilled for, like, no offense to her, but for like 30 years or whatever, it was a chill position. Like, yeah, there were the stresses, but it's like she didn't have to worry about the struggle of applying like this. Like, say she started in the 80s or 90s or whatever when she started, when, the job market wasn't like this. Say my dad, he's retired military, so he doesn't know at all what it's like to be in this type of situation. And then, he started his own business after retirement. So,
I
like,
didn't know that your dad was in the military.
yeah, he's retired Navy.
I never knew we've known each other for 18 years. And I never
Well,
once knew that.
because I never talk about my parents. But now it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if I do or not. But anyway, like,
Okay, hold on,
so
hold on. when you say that, right? We're not going to go in depth. Let me text it.
Yeah.
I just need you to tell everybody that your parents are alive because what you said it made it sound like they died.
No, they didn't die. But yeah, so and because they don't understand, like it just doesn't like I can say, hey, I'm trying to apply, like I'm applying to as many places as I can. And like, I'm like like I'm applying to small businesses, I'm applying to large businesses, I'm applying overseas, I'm applying anywhere, but the job market is trash. Like especially for CS because of like what I talked about over a year ago, because of all the outsourcing, because of all the like they're bringing in workers for cheaper, and there's the AI. Like some of these COs are like, oh, AI is the future, so we can lay off employees for that too. So no one is hiring for CS unless you're a genius. And I can admit I'm not a genius. I'm not like that level of like
At
no,
all.
no shut up. no no offense to people who are like that because I know like everyone is on some type of spectrum of autism, but I'm
Yeah.
not on that level of spectrum of autism where I can just memorize everything, where I can just
Yeah.
like sit there on a freaking on the computer for like freaking 4 hours and only read about CS and remember every single little detail and just like code it on my own, because I get bored like any other person. I'm
Yeah.
like an artist at heart, kind of thing. So I want to do other stuff that are more creative. I can't just focus on math all day. And even if I do, it's just for the job. It's not a passion.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say you've been doing that literally since you got back from Hong Kong.
mhm. But it doesn't matter because that's what they want. So like say if I apply for a job, they want to see, oh, this guy has been doing all these projects. He has internships. He has work experience. Like all these jobs want 2 years experience or freaking internship, or they want like crazy projects. Even if I get an interview, they want me to like do certain types of like assessments where I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know how to do this. Like I can't memorize. Like, yeah, I know more than say someone who didn't do CS, or say if I got that, like if I could use Google and you gave me time, like if I was on the work like in the office, I could do this. Like I would have to
Kind of like
Google.
your job like when you were in Hong Kong,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Like where I was doing a lot of stuff in Hong Kong, but I couldn't like I was using Google, I was using AI, to search
Yeah.
up stuff because I don't know the syntax. I don't know all these random libraries. Like that's just too crazy to memorize. But
Yeah.
they
Yeah. Yeah.
expect that now. But it's say in 2015, 2007 or something. They didn't expect that level of freaking like obsession. They're just like,
Yeah.
oh, you know how to, you know how to do 1 plus 1 in Python. Okay, you're good. You get this crazy job. Like when I went to George Mason, they were saying people were before they even graduated, like during their junior year, they already had a full-time position ready for them because they were desperately looking for coders because there just weren't enough. So that's why I got into CS in the first place. I saw these freaking advertisements of like, oh, you can make so much money. Oh, you get to move to California. Oh, they fly you out to Washington State to do an interview. And now they just do online interviews. Some of these online interviews, they don't even talk to you. They just do an assessment. It's just like, oh, you failed the assessment. Oh, you didn't do it fast enough. You're out. You're not even considered. So all around, I can't find a job in CS. I thought even in Hong Kong, I would be okay. Maybe in Hong Kong, I'll just return to Hong Kong. I can't even find a job in Hong Kong. So then I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna try learning
Wait,
what's it?
even if you reach out to like your old company, like that won't work.
I probably could, but I'm too embarrassed to do it. Like I feel like because I left it off at a bad note, like not in a terrible note, but
Yeah.
it was obvious I wanted to go back home. And it was like, and then because of the situation, which was that was not even connected to me because I wanted to do my last day and bring like some donuts or something, be like, oh, thank you for, the opportunity, this. And that was
Yeah.
the whole plan the whole time, to go off with a good note. Even if I was annoyed by certain things or, I wasn't having a good time, I wanted to
People reaching into your candy, trying to eat it.
I wanted to at least like show them that it's not fully hard feelings. But on my
Yeah.
the second to last day, the HR comes to me. It's like, hey, we didn't know you were leaving. I was like, huh? I did a 3 weeks notice or 4 weeks notice, whatever it was. I think yeah, it was a 3 weeks notice. So 21 days in advance, I told them.
Yeah.
But the issue was the HR head, she quit. when I gave my week's notice. So when they did the transition period to the other HR, they didn't like transfer the documents. So to her, she's just like at the last minute, like, oh, crap, these guys leaving. We have to do these tax things, or they'll get in trouble.
Yeah.
Because usually they like, you're supposed to do the tax thing before you leave, but if you don't leave, then it's all handled. But because I'm leaving, and it was the last minute, and I guess the time I was leaving, it just happened to be so much bad luck. The time I was leaving, uh, it was the time where like the deadline was already about to pass for this tax thing for the government or whatever. So on my last day there, I had to just leave. I had to go into office, give my like the laptop and my card and stuff, and then just leave.
Yeah.
Like as if I was like as if I had attitude. I couldn't really say goodbye to anyone. Like say the one of the head managers or whatever, the tech manager or whatever, he came up to me, is like, hey, I heard you're leaving, this. But I had to, snap it up quickly. I had to be like, yeah, sorry, I have to leave quickly and just leave within 30 minutes without
Yeah. Oh.
saying anyone. Like, it seemed like I just had attitude. I just want to leave. But the HR was saying, you need to get to this office building early because you know how Hong Kong is, stuff like, banks close early and all this stuff. So I had to like because this process was going to take a certain amount of time. I had to get there early. So I had to just leave and go to the office buildings, and it took the whole day. On my last day there, or my last work day there, it took the whole day, as if I did a work day, going to government buildings trying to get these taxes done. And that wasn't even my fault. That was all the HR fault. But because of that, it made me look like I had this attitude, or at least from me, my perspective, made me look like I had this attitude, and I hated everyone, and I never want to talk to them again. So that's why I'm like, I don't even want to like send a message to them and be like, hey, I'm looking for a job,
Mm.
and like crawl back to them.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, yeah.
yeah, because I don't think that would even work. Even if it did, I don't know. So I don't even want to risk it.
I was actually hoping, like, I know before, like, we joked about it. I wasn't really joking, like, towards the end of your tenure at Hong Kong. Um, but I was hoping like you could go back because I would have definitely came to visit a lot.
I mean, I would have went back. I was applying to many, but the job market there is just as like I don't know if it's competitive or just like this is a global issue where the job market's just trash. So I was trying to go for like cybersecurity because I said in like the last podcast with us, I was like, oh, I'm going to start reading about cybersecurity. I'm going to start reading about data engineering or whatever, whatever. But
Yeah.
that takes a while. That might take a year. Where I'm like, okay, then I'm a year without work, another year. So now it's a 2-year gap since I worked. Where it's like, okay, this is just not viable anymore. Because like,
Yeah.
it makes sense because it's like if you went to college, these classes, they take like, every semester is like 4 months or whatever. So it's like there's no even if I spent my whole time only reading 8 hours a day, it might still take 3 months to do that. And I'm not gonna do that for 8 hours a day. That's just impossible.
Yeah.
Like and then what's annoying to me, like everyone else, not ignoring you, but like everyone else, even some friends like I have, they'll act like I'm the crazy one. Like, oh, well, you should just do it. Oh, you're just not applying enough. Oh, why don't you send emails to HR? Oh, why don't you just send emails to recruiters?
Oh,
Well, you got to have
I
that
see why
fight. Where I'm
I see
like,
why you
this,
said ignoring me.
yeah. Where I'm
Because at
like,
first I was like, hold on, Jabari, I thought I was supporting you. And then but I realized I never told you any of that shit. So never mind.
so, like everyone is like doing this where I'm like, well, not everyone, but like, like my parents, some of the friends are just acting like, oh, you're just not working hard enough. Oh, you obviously just don't want a job. Like where it's this attitude where they're like, they don't understand.
Yeah,
Like
like ironically or unironically, my mom and I we kind of got into it just a little bit yesterday. For the same thing. She was like, well, you need to she was like, like you've been out of work since the beginning of the year, this and this, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yes, I've been applying. And she's like, yeah, but you need to at least do something or have something or whatever, even if it's like going down to the McDonald's. And I know I made jokes with you about working at McDonald's, but I'm not going to work at McDonald's. You know what I mean? And I was like, I'm literally applying and applying and applying, but there's no one hiring like at all.
like at
It's
all,
nearly
at all.
impossible to get a job. Like
Even Walmart,
I
Walmart doesn't even have any positions.
I literally like resorted to like I have like it's similar to what you're doing at UPS, but I'm literally working overnight at Lowe's, just like unloading trucks and stocking. So it's like this is literally what it's also like a mental battle that comes with it because it's like, is this what I'm worth? Like,
Exactly. That's what like so people are like that's what's annoying about everyone. So I started like not talking to really anyone. Like I haven't talked to O'Neill or Trevor. Like I mean Trevor I because he asked if I could send my resume to his company because they're looking for apparently looking for employees, but they never said anything back to me or Trevor's never said anything back to me. But like say O'Neill and them, I haven't talked to them really like messaging wise, like on Discord. I haven't talked to them in like 4 months.
really?
Like
Like since
I've
pretty much
seen
since
them.
the video shoot?
Yeah, basically. Like I've seen them
Wow.
like apparently like maybe 2 months ago. I don't even
Mhm.
remember. Maybe 2 months ago, maybe a month ago or something. It wasn't a month ago. Either the beginning of July or the end of June or something. I went
Yeah.
to Boston Bass because they were having like some type of
Justin who?
event. Bagel. I don't want to say Boston Bagel. Boston Bagels. Bagel.
Oh, so you went to Bustin's house?
Yeah, I went to Boston's house and
I knew you two were fans.
and because everyone was going there for whatever little event, and I was like, you know what? I haven't talked to anyone in so long. Let me have one little moment of like something. But even after
That
that,
made you not want to talk to them, didn't it?
well, I mean, it wasn't a terrible time, but it didn't make up for like how I'm feeling, kind of thing.
Yeah, of
Or
course.
like say I saw Julian because his I don't know if you know his bin his bin. I don't think you know him.
No.
He's one
No.
of Julian slash Kurt's friends
Well, I definitely don't.
who I know. Yeah, so he came back from Germany because he's chilling in Germany with some job. So I was like, okay, and this was like in May or a little after May, so sometime in June. So that was the other time where I went outside because I was like, oh, because I haven't seen him for over like years, basically, like since the pandemic, even a little bit before the pandemic. So I was like, okay, fine, since let me just go and see him, and that made me pissed. Everything just made me pissed off because, like, there's the subtle job. That's what people. I don't think people really respect when you are struggling to find a job. It's like people look down on you for struggling, which
Yeah,
makes no
like
sense.
before, like I know, like in the past, it would have been like, oh, this person doesn't want a job, like that's why
Exactly.
they're not, like having applying and I think that's like where our parents are coming from. But I'm like trying to explain to my parents, it's like it's damn near impossible for me to even get a job, like and I have bills. You know what I mean? Like I have so much that needs to be done and paid. And like I'm doing like I literally had to resort to like doing side jobs. Like, oh, I can paint like I literally painted the ceiling at one of the barbershops I used to get my hair cut at. Like I literally am doing stuff like that, like just little lawns, like lawn care, cutting grass for different people who hire me, like shit like that, just for me to get some money, some income for me to pay what's due. But like this is not substantial. It's not survivable. I can't really
Mhm.
do anything with this. Like it's literally just enough to cover what needs to be covered. And then after that, it's like, okay, wow. You know what I mean? Like we're like there's no sustainability in it.
Mhm.
And I know like before, like, yeah, like don't get me wrong, if this was like 10 years ago and I was the same age, I would have been out of a job all this long just because I wanted to be. But now it's like Jabari, I have many different resumes for different like fields,
Yeah, same.
and I'm still not getting like the
Hmm.
only response back from these jobs is unfortunately we decided to not go this route.
Yup.
And I'm like, I'm like all of my credentials fit this,
You know the
like
crazy part about that is that
what's
like
that?
we're probably applying, of course, applying to different types of jobs. But
Yeah,
what you're saying is the exact thing that is going with me. Like it doesn't
yeah,
like which just tells me everything is screwed. It doesn't
Yes.
matter, like, whether you're in this field, or, you're in this location. It doesn't matter. Everyone's going well, not everyone, but, like, the people who, I don't know, like, when I say younger, because we're not technically young, but we're counted as, like, almost entry level because we don't have these opportunities that other people had, like, at a young age because we were just born at a wrong time. But like
Yep.
all these people are going through the same thing where you'll look online and you'll see people saying the same thing. Like, I'm applying to hundreds of jobs a week, or, I have like all these resumes. I just keep getting flat out rejections or get ghosted, or, I don't hear back from them, blah, 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 blah. And what's annoying, the most annoying part is that no one like acknowledges it. Like, I don't see
You know,
like, the news doesn't care. They're saying, "Oh, we're having an amazing economy." Like, how offensive that is, hearing that, "Oh, apparently this is an amazing economy," and I'm struggling. And then, like, say no news is talking about, oh, like, they'll say, like, "Oh, there's entry-level workers who are out of work," but nothing's happening. Like, parents, they don't care. They just assume that, "Yo, you just don't wanna work," or, "Oh, you're just not applying
yeah.
hard enough." Like, and what's annoying is like if okay, if I wasn't applying hard enough, then maybe like it would be annoying hearing it, but then it'd be like, okay, you're right, kind of thing. I wouldn't be talking about it. I'd be more embarrassed to even bring it up. But I
Yeah.
am applying as hard as I can. It's not like I want to leave that house, like in any way I can.
You
Like
know,
it's
like
not like I want to be there. Oh, I want to be in my parents' house all my life. Oh, I want to wake up and see them every day. And like they're shocked that I'm sad. Like, that's the thing, like, they're like, "Oh, you don't talk to," like, my mom would say, "Oh, you don't talk to us, oh, something." Where I'm like, "What do you think I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to be just giddy and happy with this situation?" Like,
yeah, because
it's like they
even
don't
then
even
it's gonna be like
comprehend you can be, like, depressed about something. Like,
literally, and then
it's,
like even if you like it's and like even if you do talk and act all giddy, right? They're gonna say, "Oh, see, like I knew you didn't really care, like you're not taking this serious." It's like I can't win
exactly.
for losing, number one, and number two, I use you as an example all the time. Like when I talk to my parents, my stepdad, and like even some other friends are like, like, hey, like, how come you haven't found a job so far? Yeah. And I tell them, like, a friend of mine literally has a master's in computer science. He went overseas to Hong Kong to get a job years ago. Left there to come back, like with all the promises, like that America was having, oh, like,
Mhm.
the economy was going to be better, blah, blah, blah. And I said, even he has yet to find a job. And he has to like to just get some sort of an income for him to like do what he like needs to do to get out. He's working at UPS now. Like, when I put it into perspective for them like that, I'm like, so it's not me, it's the economy, and then, like, their jaws all drop, like, hearing that you have a master's in computer science is very impressive by itself, and then, like, when just hearing that alone I have 5 years experience, like, with sales, like, amazing numbers, amazing stats, like, a beautiful resume built for sales. I can't even get a sales job outside of car sales. Like I can go back to car sales anytime, but there's no sustainability in that. Everybody is having a hard time even paying their own bills so they can like, barely pay a car payment. It's just ridiculous. It's like, how the fuck can we even move forward
Mhm.
societally? Because
It's
so
gonna
far there's no like it's grim. I was telling a friend of mine yesterday. I told him like I may have to go back to car sales. I promised myself I would never do it, but I said I may have to because there's nothing else. And I'm now like I've never been more discouraged financially and job wise ever in my life to the point where it's like making me even second guess my self worth, which I've never dealt with before. So that's even like that's a whole other mental hurdle that I'm encountering. And it's just I'm not gonna lie to you, me not having a degree makes me feel a little bit better. Simply because I didn't stay in school for years and have the same luck. But I have like not just you, but I have other friends who have degrees and impressive degrees, and they're even struggling finding a
that
job.
that is one thing. Well, there's two things I want to add on that. The first thing was that, like, with the master's degree thing, that's also why I stopped going to gym. To be honest, like, it's half a reason because of the sadness kind of thing, but also because they're like I told a couple people there, like these older gentlemen, they're like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" kind of thing. Da, 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 da. And I was telling them like, "Oh, I came from Hong Kong and I got my master's." They said, "Oh, you got a master's in Hong Kong." Everyone always finds it impressive that you left the country and you got, master's and you're young or whatever. But then, I'm still there though. Like I'm still
Yeah.
every time they'll come up back up to me like, "Oh, have you found a job yet?" I'm like, "No, no, I'm still looking." And they'll come back again. They're like, "Oh, have you found a job yet?" "No, no." And you'll see them like you can just sense it that they're like, "Oh, something must be wrong with him."
Yeah, like
It's just I'm
I
like,
went
I don't
back.
even want to go to gym. I'm scared to go to the gym and like see them again because it's like it's been over a year now. Like where it's like, "Oh, you've been over a year without a job."
Yeah, like I left my dealership December of last year, the last time I worked, and or worked, there. Or the last time I worked period really. And I've ran into them recently, like just some people from there, like, "Oh, how's things going? Like, what are you doing now?" Blah blah blah. And I was like, I just like froze for a second, and I was like, I have to remain calm because they'll tell if I'm lying. If like I start like acting frantically, I'm like, "Oh, like how I told you I wanted to do cybersecurity, I'm doing that now." And they're like, "Oh, where at?" I had to think of a company that does cybersecurity. So now it's to the point I don't even want to be around people that I know because that conversation is going to come up. Oh, like, well, why don't you just come back to car sales or this, and this? Like I told you, you can't find anything outside of car sales. Like this is your destiny. And I'm like, dude, I can't be destined to be a car salesman forever. Like I have a gun and it will be used. That's all I'm going to say. If that is my destiny, that is going to be my outcome.
That's one thing that's annoying also is that when you mentioned that you're kind of happy in a way you didn't have a degree kind of
Yeah.
thing because it makes it like you didn't waste all this time and money on that. And it's literally how I feel now because I'm like I went it took 5 years to get the bachelor's. I super senior, so I took one extra year or whatever to get the bachelor's in computer science, a field I'm not really interested in. I'm interested in the building of the product, but I'm not interested in the math really. Like I find it
Yeah.
interesting, but it's not like my obsession. This was really more for the job.
Same with cybersecurity.
Mhm. Like, if I coulda chosen, I would've done film or maybe even just, a normal, like, business degree or, like, literature even or something, like, something slightly fun where I can create things. But, I was always told, "Oh, you gotta get a good job. You gotta get this good job," kinda thing. So I did a degree I'm not passionate in really, and, like, then I went to do the master's because I couldn't even find a job when I got the bachelor. I don't know what was up with that back then. I don't know if it was just an unlucky time or whatever, but I couldn't get an internship. Like, the only internship I could have found was for Boeing, but when they were interviewing me was when the planes started falling out the sky. So
Oh,
then Boeing was in a financial situation, and I didn't hear back from them. They didn't even decline. I just didn't even hear back from them. So that was I'm assuming, I'll never know, but I'm assuming that was why. So then when I graduated, it was the middle of freaking COVID. So there was a job decline kind of thing. When COVID first hit, they weren't hiring anyone. So I couldn't find a job when I graduated. So then I was like, let me do my master's, you know, like maybe because people always say, oh, well, if you get your master's, you can just get a job anywhere. So I do the master's in Hong Kong, struggle. It's like my whole life was unlucky. In 2021, when I was in Hong Kong, there was a job boost. Like everyone was getting a job because they were like recovering from the 2020 kind of thing.
hmm,
So when I could have got a job if I just waited, like just spent a year just like, sitting in during COVID, I probably would have found a job and would have had experience or whatever. But I went to do the masters. So then when I finished the masters, there was the job decline again. So I couldn't find a job anywhere. So then I had to return to Hong Kong. And then, you know, I finished Hong Kong where I'm like, okay, I want to go back. I want to work in government. I'm so patriotic and proud. I was
yeah.
almost, what's the word? Freaking hypnotized. Because, I'm trying to be a proud American. I want to be president one day. So I'm being all careful in Hong Kong. Like I had some friends who worked at some type of news corp that was like for more kind of pro Russia slash pro China kind of stuff. So I was like, I need to drop this friendship a little bit. I don't want that to ruin my government potential. So I'm dropping friends. I'm always pro America because I'm trying to like think ahead for the government job. I come back to America, Trump gets elected, I can't get the government job, and then there's a freaking job collapse. I can't find a job. So I'm like, I just wasted like, and I keep looking back because I'm like, I can't even fathom that this has been 5 years. Like I look at the age, I'm 28. I'm like, I didn't even, I don't even, like sometimes I can't even like one person when I was at the store, I was getting a lottery ticket. It was like during Christmas or something. He told how they had to ask because I have the baby face. He was like, "How old are you?" I said 25. I was 27. I don't even know. I can't even comprehend my age anymore. I can't like because these years just felt like this just useless. Everything was just useless. And then like what stresses me out is like, time keeps moving. It doesn't matter. So, it's almost half a year. Soon I'll be closer to 29 than I am 28. And then it's what? It's gonna be, oh, I'm 29, I still don't have a job? Or, oh, I'm 29, I just, I work as a package handler now. I can't do it really much. Where it's like, oh, well, that means I have to give up on marriage. Basically, I have to marry some freaking disgusting, like, no offense to them, but like where I'm like, I hate my wife. Where I'm just marrying just to marry because I feel like I'm pressured because I'm getting too old or something.
Exactly.
Because, these certain girls, even, they're not gonna give you the time of day if you don't have a good job, if you live in a bad environment, or you say even worse, live with your parents. They're not going to care. So it's like everything is like ricocheting, like where everything is like from one point, everything's ruined. I can't find a job because of the resume gap. Like, say I'm 29 now. It's been like, say I worked as a UPS handler or whatever. Like, let's say I'm doing okay, but I'm like, oh, I want to move on. I saved up enough money. Maybe the job market is recovering, but it's a 2-year gap since I, did an actual job in my field. So they're going to be like, oh, it's been 2 years. And that 2 years, you only did an entry level. You were a research assistant. You weren't a researcher. So why should we hire the 29-year-old for our entry level position and not the 21 fresh graduate? So then it's like, oh, I might as well give up on my field now. So it's like all this stuff is like, it's going through my head. What's annoying to me, this is the most annoying part, where it's like not saying I would, but it makes me want to kill. Is that
Yes.
where no one, like, say friends or whatever, ignoring you, but like say a couple days ago, the one friend in North Virginia, where it's like I don't expect them to care about my situation at all. I would only expect the family kind of to care because you're not, I'm not their family. Why should they
Yeah.
like be praying for me to do well? But what I do slightly expect is at least to be there, like to listen, or like, if I'm struggling kind of thing, you would think a friend would be, you know, n- like be a friend, like just be like, just listen and be like, oh man, that sucks. Like, just be somewhere to have a shoulder to cry on kind of thing. Even
Yeah.
if it's like you're sounding belligerent, you're making you're you're going, woe is me, you think the world is ending kind of thing. You would think like a friend would at least like say, okay, it's not that bad, or oh man, that sucks. Not, well, you need to just do this. Well, you're just obviously not trying enough, or this is this. Where I'm like, then why am I talking to you?
And
Why am I
like what's
talking to you?
crazy, what I realize, a lot of people, especially the ones that say that, they've either been with the same company for a prolonged amount of time and they just became complacent, or there's like a semblance of like nepotism, you know,
Mhm.
where they got a job because they knew someone, or like your father, or
Yep.
like pretty much
Every
they were
time.
like, that was a layup. It's never coming from people who actually truly understand the struggle. And I mean, you already know, I have a severe limited amount of friends, aka you and Hillary. So with that being said, luckily you to like understand like the plight, like, okay, this is like really what he's going through. Like I've seen it, blah 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 blah, all this stuff, you know. And even like the cybersecurity, like the sad thing is I'm not in like it's and has been hindering my like studying for it and getting all this necessary certifications. It is simply because I even hear from people who have all of the required certifications, and they're saying I still can't get a job.
The
Like
issue,
it's
like
still
that was one of the issue with cybersecurity. Why I kind of like slowed down on that. Is that all these jobs they require experience now? Like entry level jobs will be like, oh, we want 2 years experience at least. Come on.
yes,
Or they say, or even worse, like why I gave up with North Virginia. They'll say you need a top secret clearance or secret top secret clearance.
yes,
Where I'm like,
yes.
how the heck am I going to get that when the only way you get it is if you're sponsored by a company that gives out top secret clearances?
Or unless you pay thousands to get it.
No, you can't get it. You can't pay for it. You have to be sponsored by a company or a government official. You can't just
Oh
pay.
shit.
So the only way is if you basically work in military and they obviously give it to you, or you get into a company that does secret top secret stuff and gives you the clearance. That's the only way. So it's like I can't even apply. How can I even like? How are you expecting? And what's annoying is like it's entry level. So entry means you're walking in with really no experience. You're entry. How is someone who is entry having secret, top secret clearance if this is supposedly their first job in the field?
You know
It does
what I
like
was like,
none of this makes sense.
someone suggested to me, and I'm going to try it just to see how it works or what level of success I get with it. They literally told me just start lying on your resume. Like for the stuff that they can't quantify, just lie. So I mean, obviously they can quantify, like they can request certifications or your transcript or like your degree, but like saying that you did X work at X job for X amount of years or whatever, they're like they can't quantify that because you can really give them like for references, you can give them somebody else's number and
See,
like somebody that you trust and they can vouch for you.
yeah,
I'm going
I
to start
was
trying that.
I was considering that too, but then I'm like, I don't know, because I would go on Reddit. Because
Hmm.
I never post on Reddit. I've only
Yeah,
started recently just to be like for job stuff and be like, oh shit, like what happens if I do this or should I do this? And like
right.
I asked, like, oh, should I lie? Like I literally came up with that like same idea. Where I was like, should I just lie about certain things and say like, oh, I say I made my own business kind of thing. Instead of saying like I'm working on an app, say I literally released an app and this. But they said like, oh, these companies they'll whatever they have like the HR checks or whatever, they'll double check on your credentials. If they see it's a lie, then they'll obviously decline you and blacklist you for all jobs. Blah 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 because it's a small city or whatever. So then I'm like, okay, now I'm scared to do that. I don't know what there is to do. So I don't know if they, how Redditors are, they could just be straight up lying, but that freaked me out enough where I'm like, I don't know if I should or not.
Rightfully so. Like I'm really at the point where if nothing works out come October, I never wanted to do this and I would like really hate it if I did, but I'm going military. Like there's really no other
See,
like
that was the
option
thing.
I
I
would
was
have.
also thinking military, but then, I mean, this is just a me thing, but I was like, I have no interest in it. I have no interest in like playing, like, following these type of orders or like, and what scares me about the military is that I'm not like a hopper kind of person. But I like
Yeah.
being able to do my own thing. Like, say if a new opportunity comes about, I want to do it. Or if I have an idea for like, let's say I've saved up enough money and I want to just spend 6 months doing a business. Let's say the app is going well. Let's say I finished the app and it's going well. I want to, be CEO of the app or whatever. Like if I was in the military, I can't. Like you are bound for those 4 years, no matter what.
Yep.
And you can't like say, I was like asking questions, obviously asking ChatGPT, but I'm asking questions about like, okay, let's say I'm working in the military, I'm a whatever officer. Let's say all of a sudden my app I'm a billionaire. Let's say it's $1 billion business, literally $1 billion business. You still have to stay. You have to like literally like say I'm the next Steve Jobs. Well, you still got to do those. You got to do your work no matter what for those 4 years. You're bound. You leave, go jail, or you can plead for them, like, "Oh, please, like let me leave." But if they need the work, or let's say something happens, they can be like, "No, what the heck? You still have 3 more years to go." And I know, like that's I'm thinking like hypothetical scenarios that might not ever happen. It could be that those 4 years are amazing, and I that was the only opportunity I will ever have, kind of thing. But it's like those what ifs that can like mess me up, where I don't know what to do.
Yeah, man.
Because, like,
Like
say the what if of like Hong Kong, where I'm like, oh man, I need to return back to America, blah 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 blah. And then it turns out I regretted it like crazy. Like I should have just stayed. Like that was just that's the wisdom of the Hong Kong. I should have just stayed. I should have just suffered through it, spent at least 2 years there, or even better, I could have just applied for a different job in Hong Kong. You know, I have the apartment. I could have just applied for a different job. I didn't, and it was an instant regret. Not even like a mini regret. It was instant, like within the month of me being back, like from May 15th and then it turns June 15th. I'm already regretting it. So I'm like, oh, what if military is the same type of regret, but now it's 4 years?
Yeah, that at
Or
that point,
what if they move
I
me
mean,
to like a city where I just hate everything? Like I can't leave cities. Like if they decide, oh, Jabari, you're gonna go to Miniville, Indiana, and it's the middle of nowhere. Well, I'm gonna be in Miniville, Indiana. Like if I had even like a slight choice, like where like I just don't like the idea of the unknown kind of thing. Like I like being able to predict. Like if I knew like, okay, if I'm going to the military, I know I'm gonna be in North Virginia for how many years? Or like, oh, I'm gonna be in this part of, let's say they move me out overseas. They're like, oh, okay, I know I'm gonna be in Osaka, Japan or whatever, or oh, I know I'm gonna be in this
oh,
part of
my
Korea.
hometown.
Uh, if I knew I was going to like, if I knew where I'm gonna be for like certain amount of years, okay, I'd probably have already applied. And be like, okay, I know I'm gonna get this job. I know I'm gonna be in this position or this city, you know, blah 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 blah. But I don't know. I don't know. Like it could be I don't even get the officer position. It could be I just suck at the test. And they're like, well, you're just going to be this. Or it could be, I don't get the city I want or whatever. Like you can apparently pick your top 3 cities, but it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. They can put you anywhere. If it turns out they have too many people there, they can be like, well, we need people in Arizona, so you're going to go to Arizona. And I'm in Arizona for the next 3 years. Marry in Arizona, die in, or well, not die, but So that's what like stresses me out. And I know other people, like because other people are okay with that, which is a normal thing to be okay. Like they just want a job. They just maybe they already want to leave their hometown, kind of thing. They'll pick anywhere. Like say Bryant and Pick and Kurt, they're chilling in the military. Kurt keeps going to Miami or whatever. He's in Hawaii now. Bryant has a nice condo in California. Nick, he's going to community college, but it's all paid for because he was in the military.
Yeah.
Like that worked out fully for them. Or say my dad, military worked out fully for him. But I don't know if and that's what, I don't know. That's what annoys me. I don't know. Like if I say that, I don't know if it'll work for me. Like if I say I'm afraid of like whatever, whatever. It's like as if I'm looking at them like, and I'm like special ed. And like, oh, you have worries.
It's like people don't realize that their reality isn't the only one.
Yeah.
And like I understand that like it's hard for them to comprehend the other side of the coin because they've never been on it. But it's like at the end of the day, you know me. Like in your case, your friends know you. Do I seem like the type that'll blah 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 blah? You know what I mean? Like pretty much cause this upon myself or bring this upon myself. No, this is literally, or even choose this for myself. This is literally what like where I am and where it's at. Like where the economy is at. It's just like it's extremely scary because no matter which route you choose now, it's like there's no safety net. There's pretty much
Yeah,
no more
that's
safety
it.
net.
There's no
Like even
safety
with
net.
like everything that's happening like globally, I don't even want to go in the military.
Exactly. That was the other issue. Like where I'm like, I don't trust Trump. And I know, like, and that's the thing that I always say I have to always make a side and say that I know I voted for Trump because I always feel like people like they're like, well, you voted for this. It's like I didn't know this was gonna happen. I didn't like and it's like when I voted for it, I'm expecting the rest of the country to still be what it is. I didn't
Yeah.
know that Trump, like, everyone's just hiding in the shadows, waiting for Trump to come out. So then everyone will like fall in line, like everyone's bending the knee to him. Like, I didn't know this. And like, yeah, maybe it was a foolish thing. Maybe it was desperation because I was hoping that maybe you know, it'll make it easier to find a job or whatever. Like, oh, America first. So that means American employees, right? No.
Yeah.
But at least it had logic. It had some type of logic. And like, at least I'm saying that I regret it. Like, even though it didn't matter because again, Virginia went blue. But like, I'm actively saying like, oh, I didn't expect this. I regret it. I wish, I would have preferred an alternate scenario. But it doesn't matter. You voted for Trump. You voted for this, didn't you? So I always have to like anytime I even bring up politics, I always have to say, and I know I voted for it, just to like stop people from saying it. Because I already know what they're gonna say. Because they
Yeah.
say it every time. It's always a repeat. It's the same with the job thing. where I already know what everyone says the same thing. Well, you gotta work harder. You gotta send your email. Well, you gotta email the recruiter themselves, as if I didn't already try that. Well, you gotta just go into the building. It's like, you think I could just go into the building and just send them my email? You think I just go into Google and be like, hey, Jeremy, come on. No,
Yeah, it's like they don't understand that, like,
no,
yeah, in the past, like back in 2013, 2014, 2015, you could go up to the building and all that shit, but that's not, you do that now, you're getting security called on you.
hmm?
Like there's nothing that we really
I saw
can't do.
something
Like,
about Steve Jobs where one of his first jobs was at Xerox. You know, the people make the printers or whatever. But they were a big
yeah,
company back in the day. And he said, like, when he was whatever type of teen or something, he wanted like certain parts for this like thing he's building. Let's say he's building a certain printer or something himself. And he's like, oh, I need these parts. So he emailed the CEO of Xerox himself and said, hey, can I get these parts? And the CEO of Xerox said, oh, I could do more than give you parts. How about I give you a job? Come work for us. And then that was his first like big time job, was working in Xerox or whatever. That could never happen today. That could never in
you
history
won't
could
even
that
get a
happen.
response.
Yeah, you would even like even a small business. If you email the CEO, they're not gonna care, or they'll give you like a one sentence like answer, like, "Oh well, you can get at Walmart," and that's it. They wouldn't be like, "Oh well, I like your tenacity. I like your spirit sport." No, they don't care. But yeah, so
Mhm.
now my to say like what's the end game now? At least when I'm trying, like, Deontay already said, but I applied for freaking UPS to be a package handler, and that's happening in 2 days.
And the TikToks are not helping.
Yeah, you're not helping at all. And you know how I said I stopped going to the gym, so I lost literally all my strength, literally all. Because imagine not going to the gym for like 4, 5, 6 months. So literally, my arms are toothpicks again. I I can't like I don't know how I'm gonna handle that. But yeah, I have that just to have some type of income because I'm always like I even had my stuff like not to get too personal about it, but I even have my stuff packed because I'm afraid. I'm like any day now, like if I mess up or something or whatever, maybe they'll say you need to just get out the house, get out the house, get the f out my house, and now I'm out, and now I'm on my own. Like, who knows if that happens or not? So I have my stuff packed. Like I literally have like I have everything packed into a suitcase, and I have my clothes on like folded up on the ground,
Yeah.
like as a just in case, where I could just get my stuff and just leave.
If it's
What?
any consolation, that's how I have it here at my mom's house. I don't think I don't think we've done a podcast since like the situation with my dad. So long story short, my dad's landlord kicked me out. Um, my dad moved to another spot that's temporary, like while he finds like another house. So I'm at my mom's and my stepdad's, and I'll go more in depth about this with you personally, like through text. However, I literally have all of my clothes already packed in bins in one bag. Like, so I have three different bins of clothes and a bag of clothes. Um, my shoes are in another bin, and outside of that, everything else is like just like you, is packed and has been that way for months because either whether they say it or I say it, I need to be ready to leave at the drop of a hat because this is it's not it's not as easy or not even not as easy. And like one thing I think parents like now, I literally, like, my mom, she'll say something. My stepdad, he doesn't really say much to me because like he has no ground to stand on. Like, he's more so like my mom's husband rather than a stepdad, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's not like he can say something and I'd listen or I have to listen. But like with my mom, it started getting to a point where I told her, you're very petty and you're very manipulative, and everything just makes more sense now. Like, I was blind to it before, and like I'll go more in depth about it with you. But it's like I'm now getting to the point like where I even like I even told my mom the other day, like, by the end of the next month, I don't know where I'm going to go. I'm just going to be somewhere else. Like, I'm just going to have to move out. And her response was like, okay, that's fine. So now it's like there's not even security for like lodging, like for housing, for homes, like for a
That's the
home.
thing that makes me so like kind of pissed off about like the entirety of the US kind of thing. Like where ironically, I am making a song by the way. But in my song, I was saying, I actually have the lyrics. I'm gonna sing my song today, probably, in the car. But
Oh, I
so
have to hear that.
it's good. I think it's freaking good. I like my the freaking it's the same beat that you heard. I think it's
Oh
freaking
no.
good. I think it's good. But
Wait, do you mean the beat that you sent me like years ago to work on?
no, not that one.
Oh,
It's the one I sent
thank
recently.
God. Oh, okay. I was gonna say if it was that one from years ago, no, it's not good. I don't care how good the lyrics are.
I'm gonna make that a full. Well, I have it as a full song. I'm gonna put lyrics in that song one day, but not now.
Oh, Lord.
That one's good too. But I use it as my podcast openers now. Those old songs.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say?
In your song?
I said like something about like there's basically I lost the faith, family, nationality or whatever, or nation, faith, family, some whatever, however it works. But that's how I feel. Where it's like this whole situation has made me lose, like I'm disillusioned and I'm like lost like the kind of like that faith in like almost like in God fully, because I'm like it doesn't make sense. Where I'm like, oh, everything happens for a reason. Like, okay, so everything happens, so I'm supposed to just suffer. Like literally, where I'm trying. It's not like where they talk about karma or something, like where I did something bad, or like you say I'm on drugs or I'm drinking or I beat my wife or something, where like now my life's falling apart. No, I'm just like existing. I'm doing everything. I'm reading. I'm trying to read. I'm trying to like apply to everything. I'm trying to have like my foot forward, have an effort. Nothing's happening. And I'm seeing like the whole world, or say like, I see like CEOs or whatever, or, other people who are like kind of fully evil. They're chilling in this reality and they don't care. So I'm like, okay, so obviously if there is some type of God, it doesn't really care, or at least doesn't care about me. Like maybe I'm not the chosen people. Maybe the Jews are the chosen people. Like literally they are. They can be as evil as they want, killing people in Palestine or whatever. But they keep winning. So maybe they are the chosen people, or maybe the Catholics are the chosen people, or maybe white people are the chosen people, and it's just not black. But either way, whatever God does exist, it does not care about me, at least currently. It's trying to teach me a lesson that I didn't even ask for. I don't know what type of lesson it's trying to give me, but it's obviously fine. Like I feel like I'm Job, Job from the Bible, like where the devil and the freaking God were purposely screwing this guy's life over, killing everyone in his family, ruining his house, ruining his crop, just on a bet that, oh well, look, he didn't lose his faith, so then he's rewarded with more kids later in his life, huh? So you killed all his firstborns just for a bet and be like, oh well, at least now you're okay again. It's like, no, you just ruined his life. He didn't ask for that. God and the devil just picked this random guy out. Like, hey, look how faithful he is. Let's ruin his life and see if he'll stay faithful. So I feel like I'm Job, and the fact that his name is Job too. I feel like it's also some big irony. Like the universe is playing me.
You know what's crazy? I think they hid that in plain sight because like his name is pronounced Job, but I think they were like, if we say Job and then somebody doesn't have a job and they're going through this, it's maybe it's gonna be a little too on the nose. So let's just change the pronunciation.
Yeah, they're just joking up there like, oh, watch this. This is gonna be funny in 10,000 years. Trust me. And
Man,
now
like,
it finally played off.
Like the scary part about all of it, Jabari, is it's August. We're entering the last quarter of the year, and things are. I'm going to be honest with you. Like in my situation, things are going worse. I'm not going to go too in depth on it with this. Like on here, I'll text you like the specifics, right? However, I had a good amount saved up. I had thousands of dollars saved up. I was proposed a business venture, right? That was supposed to be very, very lucrative. Help me out, blah, 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 blah. Just give me another stream of income currently, and then like something I can build upon as time goes on and as like I further my job and all that stuff. My entire savings was spent on this business opportunity and the investment. I now fully regret it because it's gone nothing but terrible since I started. And now I'm just like staring and I'm like, I no longer have a savings. Even if like a huge emergency happened, I had a safety net to fall back on. Like I was cruising. I was like, you know what? Even if I don't get like a job in cybersecurity for like a few more months, at least like if I need money, I have it. I'm doing these side jobs, outsourcing myself. It sounds like I'm a prostitute. But anyways, like just doing all of this just to like help my situation. You know what I mean? But like I'm still good because I still have like thousands in the bank. I no longer. You can. I need actually. Yeah, I need you to bleep out these numbers. But I had bleep left, and I'm just like staring at this investment, and I'm like, I am arguably the dumbest person, or this is the dumbest version of myself so far. And I've had many versions of myself that were dumb, you know. And now it's just like, wow, man, I no longer. I don't know what to do. Like that ruined my mental even more, like significantly more, because I had a lot of plans um that I'll go more in depth in that like I would be able to start doing into this month, at the latest October, but I no longer have the funds to do it. And not plans as far as like, oh, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna enjoy this. It's like I was gonna like do more, invest more in all this shit, you know what I mean? But now those opportunities are far gone because of like this flopping. So now like shit is just getting worse. And I'm like, dude, I don't even know how to crawl out of this. Um And fast forward 2 days, now I have an interview for a Lowe's on Tuesday to stock overnight at 28 years old.
You know what I wonder? I wonder if, like, say, for me with this freaking package handler, you with the Lowe's, I bet you're going to see a lot of people who are in similar situations.
Well, ironically, I worked at the same store doing the same position uh earlier, like midway through the year last year. I only quit because I was working like 70 hours a week at the car dealership. So that left like me like working 22 to 24 hours a day almost every day, right? For months. So that's why I actually got fired from those because I just stopped showing up. I was sleeping. However, the same people, like the people that were working there, I was the youngest, mind you, and they all said, man, like you have like a good head on your shoulders, you're doing like you're doing everything right in life. Like, man, if I knew what I like, if I knew what like if I was your age and I knew what I would be like far better off.
See,
And I'm
that's
just
the
sitting
thing.
there like I'm at the same place as you guys, and y'all had a worse setup than me, so like what does that make me you know what I mean? It's
That's
like
the
I don't
thing.
want to
That's,
hear that anymore.
yeah, exactly. That's the thing that's annoying. And then what's also annoying is that, like, no offense to them, and no offense to anyone who's, is older or whatever, but like, each, like, generation advances, like, where, like, certain things that you could do in the past you can't do anymore. Like, say, like, examples, the CS thing, where, like, say, even just 10 years ago, you were getting jobs right out of college. Like, people
Yeah.
with literally no experience. Like, they always say that. Like, I was always hearing, like, oh, they're gonna retrain you when you're on the job. Because college teaches you basically nothing. It just teaches you like the basics, but it doesn't teach you how to actually work. So they retrain you. So I'm thinking, like, back then, you could literally just kind of walk up, just send an email to Google, send an email to Apple, send an email to whatever, all these other tech companies, the ones you haven't even heard of, and say, hey, I'm looking for a job. I'm a fresh graduate. And they would just hire you. They would ask you a couple simple questions and then hire you and then train you, spend like 2 weeks training you. And then you get a good income and you get paid. Nowadays, they want you to already know everything. They want you to come in with all the knowledge. So when they say like, "Oh, you got a good head on your shoulders," "Oh, I'm surprised you're not gonna da 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 da." Like for me, where I'm like, it doesn't matter I have a good head on my shoulder. It doesn't matter that I'm smart. It doesn't matter if I can learn stuff quickly. I need to already know everything, and I can't.
Literally.
Then people don't even understand that I can't. Like, say my dad, which is annoying. He'll watch like say those stupid TikToks. Those black kind of whatever TikToks. Oh, you look at these people. He's only 14 and he has this business or whatever, whatever, whatever. And he obviously will look at me and be like, why is my son like that? Obviously, he's not working hard enough. Oh, what, da 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 da. Well, I'm like, what do you expect? Like, people act like you shouldn't be human. Like, oh, you have the nerve to have emotions, or like have wants, or have needs, or have like, certain things that you can't do. Because if it were that easy, then everyone would do it. If it were this easy, then you could do it. He could do it.
Yeah.
Everyone would just spend 12 hours a day learning something and then
And
build their own business and become a billionaire. But the fact that no one does means that it's not viable for most people. It's hard. And it's
and then
beyond hard. It's like if you're trying to tell someone who is, you know, not an artist, someone who has no rhythm or has no like creativity, and say, hey, just draw. Come on, like it's easy. Just draw. Just read a book. Just write. When you write, you create. Just make the music. Just make the beat. You could hear that it sounds bad, so just improve it. Where it's like that just doesn't work with certain people who have that type of brain or don't have that type of brain. Like they will never like have that interest in say music or creating art or creating literature or whatever. They just can't because that doesn't interest them. So why are people surprised when it flips the turn or flips the tide and it's like, oh, I can't read about freaking cryptographic principles and secure algorithms for 12 hours a day. I just can't. And those be
and
like, oh,
then
well,
moving
you don't
beyond
even have a
that,
job. This needs to be your job. Whereas, like, okay, but then if you see me sitting there for 6 hours a day not talking to anyone, then you'd be like, oh, what are you doing? You should be applying. So it's like you're screwed if you do, screwed if you don't. There's nothing that works.
yeah, man, and like even building upon that, it's like, for example, let's say parents are watching like those TikToks or like even like those news stories. Oh, this 14-year-old did this, this, and this. Like my parents, like my parents even said before, like they were like praising them, and they were like, "Oh, see, that's good." Like you should, like figure out like what it is, and then capitalize on that. And I just like sit there and like, you don't even know how to do it. I didn't, like if you didn't teach me, and they don't teach that in school, where the fuck am I supposed
Exactly.
to
That is
learn it?
a brilliant point. That it's like a lot of these kids who do this early, it's because those parents have been hounding them since like three. Like, those people, like, say, those skateboarders in the Olympics. We're like, wow, there's these 13-year-old skateboarders who are winning gold medals. They were literally learning skating, like learning to skate on a board since they were two. Like the
Yeah,
parent was putting them on the board, teaching them until they're two. And then when they turn four or whatever, they're teaching them how to do tricks. And then when they're turn five, they're putting them to whatever parks. Like the parents have their hands holding the hand of the baby or the kid the whole time to force them to like learn from the start. So I don't know why they
like
expect like without doing that I should
that's one
other kids
credit.
should become a genius.
That's one credit I will give my dad, because it was when I was 20 years old, 20 or 21. And like now that I think about it, he was probably going through something back then for him to tell me this. But I got it. I was with my then girlfriend, and I just got a random text from my dad, and it was like this long message, but essentially, no, it wasn't even long. It was like short and sweet, and it literally said, "I'm sorry I was not able to give you what you needed to be successful. I really do love you. I'm proud of where you are and like like what you're doing and like you're like trying to find your way. I'm just sorry I couldn't help you as much as I wanted to." That actually made me cry. And like even thinking about it, like makes me tear up, because at least my dad acknowledged, this was way before shit got harder. But at least my dad acknowledged, I didn't give you, pretty much like you're on your own kind of thing to build your life. And I like my job was to help prepare you for it. And I didn't do that. And I couldn't do that. And I apologize. I'm very appreciative of my dad even saying it. It breaks my heart that he had to say it, but I'm also appreciative because anytime I think of it, it takes a load off my shoulders. And even it was Jabari, it was earlier this year. I was no, it was last year around October or November. I had a mental breakdown. I wasn't talking to anyone during this time, and I was like going on like constant walks, constant walks, constant walks. Then my dad came out and like found me, and I was high. I'm not gonna lie, I was high. My dad came and found me, and like he literally just like said, You're too hard on yourself. Like things are." He acknowledged where the current state is of like how everything is, and like although I appreciate it, I sometimes like still have like some anger because it's like you guys are my parents. Y'all knew what life was like or what it was not like. Why didn't you tell me when I was younger? Like force me to do something. Like out of all of my siblings, I'm the only one that was not forced to do anything. Everything I did in life, skateboarding, playing music, football, all of that stuff is just because I said I wanted to do it. I was never forced anything. I was never told, "Oh, you have to do this, or we're gonna put you in these lessons, we're gonna put you in this group," or any of that stuff, you know? And, like, I look at my life now and, like, I definitely could have taken a lot of control. Now that I'm an adult, I should take more control than I am. I mean, I'm taking as much control as I possibly can at this point, if I'm being quite honest. Um, but it literally is like I sometimes look at my parents, and I think the reason I get so angry is because I really think to myself, "You guys failed me." Like, you guys, like, didn't fail me in some aspects, but, like, in an aspect that matters most right now, y'all failed me, and, like, there's nothing y'all can do to help, to make it feel better. There's no words that'll even make this even better because, like you said, I can't get a wife. I literally broke up with my girlfriend last year, the woman I wanted to marry, the one I was telling you about, you know?
Mm,
Um, like, and you remember the reason I told you, it's literally all of this. I could not build even a family with how things were going. Like, I can't get married. Hell, I can't even move out on my own right now. Like, there's just so much that I can't do. And like, I'm just angry because I was failed. You know, now I have to figure, like, I had to realize how shitty life was and how, like, how much bullshit comes with it. And now I have to, like, create a plan. Like, it's like I was dropped pretty much in life on my own. My older siblings, I'm doing better than them. And that's sad in my eyes. It's sad, you know? But I'm doing better than them. They're always telling me, "Oh, like, you're the best out of all of us, this, and this. Like, I wish I had, like, your mentality." I'm like, dude, y'all are older than me. Like, y'all should be helping me out. Y'all should be showing me the ropes. It feels like I'm the oldest sibling. You know what I mean? Um, it's just Jabari. It's really just wild, man. It's
yeah.
life is just getting scarier and scarier, and there's really not much hope. I'm finding. If anything, I'm losing more hope as time goes on,
See,
as days go by.
that's why I
Just
said
lose
that
more hope.
that one lyric with the family nation of faith, where it's like everything feels like it's tumbling, like where I
Yeah,
what you're saying about the families, I can relate. The whole thing about the faith I talked about, and then like say the nation, where it's like, you know, we're taught to be patriotic. We're taught to be like, oh, we're the greatest country in the world. Be grateful. You're supposed to be patriotic. You're supposed to be like, oh, put your heart towards the flag. The country cares for you,
yeah.
and you care for the country. But then everything's showing it was all just a big lie. Like nothing matters. Like no one cares. The country obviously doesn't care. It's all about like the like say the politicians. There was this whole thing about like say with Schoolhouse Rock. They'll say, oh, how to do a bill. Oh, I'm a bill.
Yeah.
Da, 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 bill. And they'll show like the little kid, wrote to a senator or whatever, whatever, and then it grew to become a bill and changed the law. That's a fake lie. It's all a lie. Like, say I tried that with the whole like where I was telling ahead of time. I was like, hey, this job market is getting bad and it's gonna get worse. Like, we need to do something about the whole what's it called? The outsourcing of jobs. Because,
Yeah.
soon we're gonna lose our like and I'm trying to even be patriotic about it. We're gonna lose our position in the world. We're going to like, China's gonna win. This. Oh, our youth is gonna lose precious kind of experience in these certain fields, this. And it didn't matter. They just sent me a automated email back. My senator, my representative, the representative of, and that's supposed to be even more what's it called? It's supposed to be more uh like closer.
Personal.
Yeah, personal is the representative because he's the representative of our like three cities. Like he's the representative of Chesapeake, Suffolk, or whatever. So it's like he's not getting that many emails a day. No one's really sending emails to their representative. I sent an email to him. I sent it to our two senators. I sent it to even Bernie Sanders. I sent it. I'm trying to get something because I'm like, okay, maybe Bernie Sanders. He's more liberal or whatever. Maybe he'll care. And no one cared. No one cared. No, like my senator sends an automated email. The other senator says, "Oh, I understand," and then at the end it says something like, "Whatever speech tomorrow, go watch it." Like that, you didn't even say anything about what I sent an email about. I put my heart and soul into this email, looking at the grammar, trying to make sure it makes sense. No one cares. So, and that again was also a reason why I kind of did a rebellion thing and voted for Trump. Where I'm like, okay, our Democrats don't care. No one cares. And then it turns out Trump doesn't care either. Obviously, he doesn't care, but like I feel stupid. But he obviously doesn't care. No one cares. The only thing that
Yeah, man.
matters is like it's like money. Like as long as but I wasn't born with like all this wealth, so it doesn't matter. I can't do anything. Like without like a certain amount of money, you can't do anything. So then I'm like I and then I look back into history, like how I'm writing this little book or whatever. I'm still not done with that. But I'm writing the book and I'm looking at the history of like the world kind of thing, or like the atrocities of America, where I'm like looking back, like how say specifically obviously how they treated black people from the beginning of time till now. Because like say slavery didn't start with America, they just perfected it. Like slavery was
Yeah.
already happening in Africa, where the Africans were enslaving other Africans to sell to the Arabs, and the Arabs were using them for concubines. They were chopping off people's schlongs because they wanted like how many women or whatever in their harem. Like where I'm like, these people are evil. They were like, why is it always black people that were treated like trash throughout all history? And then I'm like, oh, why? Like, not saying that I'm like, oh man, like why was I black? But like where I'm looking at it, I'm like, dang, like unironically, a lot of the issues is because I'm black. It just is because apparently throughout all of time, people just for some reason specifically targeted black people, and and then like say with the Jews or whatever, where I'm like, these people who were apparently the chosen people who started from slavery, because that's the whole point. They left from Egypt because they were slaves. They ended up enslaving. How are the slaves enslaving slaves? Like,
Yeah,
and then
that's
if you
actually
look in the
wild.
Bible even says it in its 10 commandments. It basically like like it says slavery is okay. Like the fifth commandment or whatever, where it says like thou shalt not lay with another man's wife or his servants. What do you think the servants are? They changed. The servants were slaves. There weren't servants back then. So apparently even God is okay with slavery. And the slaves are usually who? They're usually the freaking African black people.
Yeah.
And then the only African black people who weren't enslaved were the rich ones. So all that matters is money. All that matters is money, and you're not black. If you have money, you're good. So
You know,
pissed me
Jabari.
off because I'm like, okay, so then everything's a lie. And then I look through all history of America and like say after slavery, they were screwing over black people constantly. They were like, oh, they didn't enslave them, but they purposely made little laws to make it easier for them to go to prison. So then they can you because there was a loophole where you can have free labor as long as they're a prisoner, or like they would use everyone for freaking medical experiments, like for the syphilis experiments and all this freaking crap, where it's always black people. Or like say they would do certain things, like they would what's it called? What's it called where you can't have babies anymore? They purposely
Castrate
no, like
or vasectomy.
not vasectomy, not the procedure, but there's like a word for the actual doing of
Oh,
it.
infertile.
Yeah, they would like infertilize black people purposely because they're like, oh, now that black people are freed, they might overpopulate. So we're going to literally infertilize as many women as we can. Where it's like something crazy. Like say even it's for America, it's always black people and Hispanics that they hate. Like say Native Americans kind of Hispanic, they're literally the same. That's what they try to ignore. But literally Native American Mexican, there's no difference. You think just because they went up a little bit, that means the Native Americans now have a completely different culture. No, they're the same people. Always hated Mexicans. That's like in our entire that community. They always hated them. That was a part of their whole culture of America. They hated the black people and they hated the natives. The only reason they didn't enslave the natives is because they would die because they would catch disease and freaking drop dead. But black people, they ended up having like certain types of I don't know what's up with our blood or whatever, or maybe because of the malaria stuff. But we're just immune to disease a little bit more, like more than average somehow. We're just immune to disease. So they're like, okay, we'll use them as slaves. They already have a slave trade anyway. So it's like all through history, we've been screwed. We've been either screwed by white people or we've been screwed by other rich black people. There's only two.
Jabari, I do
Everything's
have
just
to
pissing me
go.
off.
I do have to go, but I will tell you this.
Oh wait, can I say one thing? One more thing.
Yeah,
So
but let me say mine first.
okay,
I am just grateful that we both share the same experience right now. Minus me, I mean, I know I don't have a degree, but as far as like the same plight, I am very grateful that you definitely understand. I don't talk about this with anyone, like literally no one. like you're the only person that's like, again, minus the degree. That's the only difference. That's fully in my shoes and that
Mhm.
truly understands it. So I appreciate you greatly.
Well, I appreciate you being there too because there's like basically exactly what you're saying. Everyone else is in some type of preferable situation where they just don't understand, or they mock or gloat or like they say the dumbest things that just don't help.
Yeah.
But the thing I wanted to say before, like very quickly, is that like another thing I started doing is applying for teaching jobs. I already told you earlier, but just to say, I'm trying to apply to teaching jobs and go to China, kind of thing. Hopefully, because I'm completely giving up on this freaking country. If I can, I'm leaving and never come back.
I
Legit,
don't blame you.
legit. Because I think our sun has set. Our sun is set. Everything's just moving, transitioning, and the world seems like they're moving past. If they can, if they have the opportunity, they can. But
Yeah, man.
the thing I want to say is because I'm wondering, say with your sales thing, could you potentially try applying for sales in other countries? Like maybe they're like because like for example for the teaching, I don't know if they have the same situation with sales, but say with the teaching, like say in China, they'll sponsor the visa, they will give you a flight allowance, and they'll give you free housing if you can find a
I
job.
never thought of that.
So I'm
So,
wondering
that's something I'm
for
gonna have to look
sales,
into.
even if it's not China, let's say like even if it's something like I don't know, you apply to freaking I don't know, let's just say Japan.
Okay.
I don't think they would because you know how Japan is with their visa crap. But let's just say,
Yeah.
as an example, Japan. Maybe it ends up, oh, they're looking for sales all the time, and they're like, oh, American salesman. Oh, oh, we'll find him a job. Yeah, and maybe your pay won't be as good, but the cost of living's lower. The
And that has certain provisions that'll help out more.
yeah, you'll like well, hopefully, maybe you have to apply to big cities, not small cities, but like it could be that it you could find a job like because it's that easy really technically it's just the hard part is getting the visa. So if you can find a visa, like if you could find a company that would be willing to sponsor the visa, and if you have enough money to fly, and if you have enough money to get a hotel or something until you get an apartment, if they don't
Yeah,
sponsor the apartment. But the main thing is just wondering if you can maybe just find a job outside the US because I
that's
don't think
something
it
I'm gonna have
matters
to look
anymore.
into
I'm starting to wonder
because
with how the world is combined now. I'm wondering if nation doesn't matter anymore. Like, yeah, it matters kind of culturally, but like loyalty means nothing. It's not going to make a difference. Like, if they
yeah,
do a war, like say I go to China, Shenzhen, and then they do a freaking war. Oh, China invades Taiwan. I can leave anytime. They usually warn you ahead of time. They're like, hey, all Americans need to leave. So you know what?
yeah,
If that happened, I'm gonna leave. Like, say the people in Russia, when the Russia Ukraine, they had time to leave. They said, we are closing the embassies, everyone get out. The people who chose to stay, chose to stay. It's not like they like, the only people who could stay, who stayed, are people who were just so screwed that they couldn't leave, like the people who are naturally in Ukraine, like they're Ukraine citizens, or they left.
yeah,
Or they were dumb, I guess. And they're like, "Oh, I'm just not gonna leave. I like it here." But like, notice, like, say, even with World War II, the Jews in Germany, the rich Jews in Germany, they left. Why do you think Albert Einstein's here? He left before the war started, before the camp started. They had time to leave before it started getting crazy. So I think even in that situation, you would have time to leave, like if something crazy happened. But if you, hopefully, you had money. I guess if you saved poorly, and you had no money to like get a one-way ticket back, then you get screwed. But yeah, more of
I
the
would start
story.
swimming.
Yeah, more of the story. I wonder if you can get like a foreign job, even if it's just like in even a random country, like I don't know, Thailand or something. Well, Thailand's not really a random country. I'm trying to think of countries that are ones you don't think of, like even European countries, like I don't know, Poland. Like where you're like, okay, I'll just go to Poland. Where I heard Poland's pretty nice and it has a fair amount of jobs. Right? Or say Ireland or something. Even South America, Central America, they have some nice cities. As long as you're in the big cities, just don't go to the small cities. Like even small cities in China are gonna suck. Small cities in Japan are gonna suck. So yeah, that's just one last thing I wanted to like give you a thought of not just only
Yeah.
applying in America.
And I'm definitely going to put some thought into it because something needs to change. So I really appreciate it, Brian.
But
Well,
that's it. I actually have to, ironically, with the teaching job, I got some type of recruiter to send me a message back. I don't know if it's gonna come up with anything, but I have to send a stupid video, introductory video. I guess so they see what I look like. I'm scared that they're gonna be like, "Oh, this is a black guy. We're not hiring a black
they're
guy
gonna
teacher."
say they're gonna say literally what that one lady from That's a Raven said. I don't hire black people.
That's why I have my glasses on now. I got to look as safe and nice and innocent as possible.
Well, the stories will continue. I'll definitely text you everything I didn't want to talk about, like or go in depth. Uh, text you all that shit so you know what's going on. But
Okay.
all right,
And
man.
I guess in a week or so, or maybe a little bit longer, we'll talk about the freaking UPS, how that went,
Yes,
and maybe the
in the
Lowe's if you
lows.
have any. Yep.
All right, buddy.
Okay. I will talk to you
See ya.
later. See ya.